Yo, what's going on, people? So, first off, this is my first time ever doing a video like this, and I'm only doing it because of, one, the circumstances that are going on, and two, how we even got to this point. So, starting off, everybody knows what's going on with this, brother that's in the, photo right now, and I don't think we quite know all the details or whatnot. There's still more to come, and I'll get into that later. But I remember months ago, I was scrolling on Facebook one day and I came across this video of this lady by the name of Sloan Bella, who is a psychic. And, long story short, she said some things that, at the time, I paid no mind to it. But fast forward to today, I remembered her saying those things, months ago. So I went back, I watched the video again, and I was like, man, let me, share to other people what I seen, you know, leading up to this. And so bear with me. Um, Hopefully, you are mind blown just as I was. And you find this content to be, useful and some entertaining. And please like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what you think, because once again, at some point, I get to what I think is going to happen. And I want to hear what you guys think, as well as what I think. And we'll see where we meet. So like, comment, share. Please let me know what you think. Peace.
Hi everyone, I'm Sloan from SloanBella.com, and I am back with another channeled energetic video. This one is in a series of videos I've done on the late Kim Porter.
All right, so before we kick this off, Sloan basically just introduced herself, her website, ways to get in contact with her and follow her going forward. For the people that, are actually into, what she's into. But this is Sloan. This is the video, that we'll be covering today. And that's where you can go follow her.
And given what broke in the news this week, I tried to focus on the energy to see what came through. Now, as we all know, Kim Porter is the former girlfriend and mother of 3 of P. Diddy's kids, who passed away on November 15th of 2018 of some sort of bacterial pneumonia. That is the cause of death, or what they released to the public as the reason for this young, vibrant woman's passing, because, yeah, that's normal.
Take note of that. She said that they released, to the public that Kim died of a bacteria infection, along with pneumonia or whatnot. And take note of her reaction when she said that. She's basically, showing body language that she don't agree with that, But this will lead up to a bigger picture, so take note of that.
The problem with this energy of what's going on this week with P. Diddy is he thinks he's being basically forced into the media for something that he doesn't feel is as bad as it is. His former girlfriend, the one that accused him of trafficking, kidnapping, blackmail, sexual abuse, drug addiction, which is kind of what they do when they traffic people. They keep you in a state of being drugged so you can't fight back. That happens all the time. That's why they drug you. That's why you see working girls on the street being drugged, because why the hell would they be out there unless they were drugged once they start doing it, right? Maybe the first day they don't know what they're getting themselves into, but a week into it, they probably want to take off. And then it becomes two things: an issue of shame and an issue of being medicated and unable to form a congruent thought to be able to say, I need to get away from this guy. You need to get away from him. Finally, Cassie was able to speak, and she was helped by an older man really close to her family who held her hand. So somebody came to help her out of that. I actually see that energetically.
Here again, Sloan speaks about trafficking. and the whole process of trafficking and what happened to females or men that are trafficked. So take note of that as well. There'll be more later on that comes with that.
Now, when we're talking about the way that P. Diddy allegedly, but it's not alleged, it's actually factually, everybody says allegedly. If people would talk in realistic terms, because people know enough about P. Diddy to know that that is how he treated her. It's not really alleged. It's like out there, okay? And it's especially out there now. He settled immediately. Now, I wanted to focus on the energy of Kim to see how she felt about it. And I want everybody to understand that she really focuses on her children and their heart and how they're going to feel because they're protective of their father. They want to have a connection with their family members. They lost their mother. So when you lose your mother and you have a mother and father, you have other family too, but they're not your mother and father. So there's sadness from her part around that, because the sadness is that her kids were left in this predicament where that is their surviving parent. There's also a tremendous amount of sadness from her about her family, in particular siblings and mother, who cannot get past what happened to her, cannot get over it. And it's not that you get over that. You don't get over the death of a child or a sibling, but they are stuck. And the reason they're stuck is because they want the truth. And she's acknowledging this, and the truth is slowly trickling out. So they are going to get the answers that they want. And I'm also being told that there is somebody looking into the physical traits of Kim, meaning whatever physicality they have. I don't know if they had a toothbrush with toothpaste. I don't know if they had hair from her hairbrush. I don't know what they have, but they have physical written documentation, okay? Like as in somebody recorded her talking or she recorded it. And they have some sort of evidence with her physical body. So this is either something the coroner collected or it was collected before, but you can run tests on it. The family 100% feels that she didn't die of, quote, the natural causes that they said. And they would be right. It was too easy to say she died like that. This is what bothers her. This bothers her. She tries to talk to her family. She tries to talk to them. She's kind of funny. I'm sure all of our loved ones try to do that, but the family will feel her and will have a sense of knowing she's there. But the level of sadness that they feel worries her quite a bit. So she's very, very aware of that. When I mention her former boyfriend, the energy pulls back. So she's not so focused on him. I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming is what she said. I knew this was coming. It was set into motion going back 16 years.
So real quick, Sloan basically just covered, how she tap into, these visions that she see, and at this point, she covered that, but she also spoke about how there will be more to come, as far as how the lady Kim Porter died. Um, and this video, so I'm doing this video because Sloan said something that it's leading up to um, that basically stuck to me. So I went back watched this video and now I'm making this video. But I'm taking note on that part too, because once again, what I will show you later on was spot on, and I'm trying to see how much of this lady's vision will actually come to light. So take note of that as well.
He had a 16-year climb. I don't know what happened in 2007, but he had some sort of a shift energetically, and he took a choice or made a choice that took him on the wrong path. He was already on the wrong path, okay? Starting with a J-Lo thing in the club. That is why her career kicked off, because when you keep your mouth shut around P. Diddy, you get rewarded, right? So whatever happened in 2007 was so noted on an energetic level. You cannot escape the frequency of your actions, even if you escape repercussions on earth. You cannot escape frequency. So no matter what you do or say, no matter how you approach things, you cannot escape what you've done. Like if you go out down the street and there's no motive for you to do something to somebody and you rob them and, run them over, if people don't see you and you're not connected to them, obviously they're not going to know who you are because there's no motive. So how would you have repercussions for that if nobody could catch you? So P. Diddy's girlfriend, Cassie, this one that just came out in the media for the horrific abuse she suffered, horrific abuse, and trauma bond and drugged and dragged through the mud and blackmailed. First thing, young ladies out there, and I've said this my whole life, I don't care if you're a sex worker, I don't care if you have orgies, I don't care how many people you sleep with. Don't you carry shame with it. Even if some guy drugged you and you did it, you're like, what the fuck did I do? Speak it so they can't control you. Very important. P. Diddy is operating off of a frequency that is fear-based, and it does one of two things when he does this. When he has a relationship with a girl like Cassie, number one, she's young and she's basically pliable, okay? So there's a huge age difference there because women his own age might not be as impressed with him, okay? So she assumes that he's coming at her in a relationship in an authentic way. Although I will say I feel like she was forced into the relationship with P. Diddy from someone else. And by forced, I mean someone introduced them and kind of said, this is expected of you. If you want this to happen, this is expected of you. So I don't feel it was like a love at first sight thing for her. I feel like she was doing what she thought she should do. And she was kind of done with it like almost instantly. The blackmailing, the trafficking, the drugging. That's what trafficking is. Keeping somebody against their free will, especially when they're not sober, and forcing them into actions and situations that go against their moral compass in order to degrade them and then control them with said actions that degraded them. So don't let anything degrade you. Take responsibility for what you do and say, I was fucked up, I was drugged, he drugged me. That's not really your responsibility, but you can say it and start speaking it. That removes his power. What he's doing to her is a form of vampirism. He's not biting her neck and sucking her blood. That's not what I mean. But energetically, he's enjoying it and he's pulling her energy to him because he's controlling it. That's what he likes to do. Now, here's an interesting twist in this. He settled so quickly, obviously, because he didn't want to go into court. She didn't want to go into court either. I wouldn't want to go into court. I wouldn't want them calling me all kinds of names like, why didn't you leave? I mean, they're not well versed on trauma bonds and all kinds of things that happen that we have now become to understand what these things are. A lot of us through family circumstances, all kinds of things. And when you add drugs to it, you really don't have your free will. Now, the reason that everybody and their cousin drugs their abuse victims, okay, you hear that all the time. The girl got in the car, they gave her drugs, they shot her up.
So I'm gonna pause right here because I agree with 90% of what she's saying, 95% of what she's saying. But the only thing that kind of sat on my mind, and I kind of had thoughts about, were the part when she spoke about the women that are sex workers or orgies or whatever, right? And she was like, I don't care about that. She was like, if somebody is doing something to you, speak up about it, do this, do that, right? But then, as you could see, when she went on, she went and she talked about how Cassie and Diddy settled or whatnot, because Diddy didn't want to go to court, Cassie didn't want to go to court. They basically didn't want whatever was being said to come out, to the public or whatnot, right? And she was like, because, I don't want them calling me names. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that, which I completely understand that. But on the other side of this, when we're talking about a person, you know, of this, you know, level or whatnot, I like to think about, the Harvey Weinstein, the Bill Cosby, the people like that, right? And you basically, had the, evidence to, put these people away and you settle. Like, so to me, hearing her talk about this, saying speak up and then speaking on the settlement saying, well, I wouldn't want this, I want that. I kind of feel like that is contradicting, just a tad bit. That's just one of them things. It's like you could have potentially expedited everything that's going on right now, but you settled or whatnot. So that's just my piece on that. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm not saying she's right. I'm just saying, that's just something that popped out to me. You said speak up and then, but we're gonna settle. So I'm gonna just leave that at that. But let me know what you think about that.
They put drugs in her coffee. They put drugs in this. She acted weird. They drugged her. They roofied her. They roofied him. The reason you hear that so much is when the drugs enter the physical body, okay? So your physical vibration, which is in tune with your etheric body. But the etheric body is kind of just visiting here, meaning for 80 years, 70 years, whatever, we're alive. Our spirit body then can leave the physical.
Here we're gonna fast forward a little bit, to get more to the part that I really want you guys to see. Because she's diving into like some other things, and basically what she's saying, isn't leading up. Well, it's leading up to what I want y'all to hear, but I want to get you guys there, you know, and I don't want y'all to miss that part. So we're gonna speed up right here.
Allegedly $700 million, if not more. That's just like, I mean, that's going back into the mid 2000s when they guesstimated that. It's not his money I'm being shown. So when they tell you these people have that money, he cannot do what he wants with all that money. That's a trick. It's a trap. It doesn't exist. I'm being told it doesn't exist. That does not mean he doesn't have 13 homes, a bunch of nice ass clothes, cars, Lamborghinis, women, tricks, every equipment. He is given those things with part of the money, but he doesn't have control over it all. And they are siphoning it for him right now. I'm seeing it like a milkshake, and there's a straw, and his wealth is being sucked. So by him agreeing to pay Cassie off, the others are coming behind until there's a complete and utter takedown of P. Diddy and his 3 right-hand men. Okay? 3. So there's going to be a takedown that comes in with that. And he's going to try to step away. They're not done. And here's another thing I'm being shown. Okay. I don't know how to word this. This to me reminds me of like a binding spell in voodoo. And I don't know what I'm talking about with that, but his mouth is being sewn up. So when I see his face, the image I get is the mouth is being sewn up. So he is going to be unable to speak for some reason. I can't talk. I cannot speak for myself anymore. This to me sounds like a losing of faculties, a losing of thought, a losing of thinking. I cannot speak, but it's sewed up around his mouth. That's actually how I'm seeing it. They're going to stitch his mouth shut. Why? I ask why. This is how it works for me. So when something hits me, I get impressions, and I just express those impressions.
So everything that this lady just said sounds like a hierarchy type thing. And she started by saying that the money that he supposedly have, he really don't have that money. She said, I'm not saying he don't have, 13 houses, cars, whatever, all that. Which, we all know he does have that. But she is basically saying that he is a player in this game. And she's saying that it's 3 right hand men that are associated with this as well. And that they are basically sacrificing him so they don't be out it. And I said that because once again, there's more to this that I think is going to happen. And I will cover that a little bit later. But I want to point out these key points that she is saying that, I feel is going to come to light as well.
I could be right, I could be wrong, obviously. Nobody's 100% right. It's always worked this way for me. So up. So he is going to be unable to speak for some reason. I can't talk. I cannot speak for myself anymore. This to me sounds like a losing of faculties, a losing of thought, a losing of thinking. I cannot speak, but it's sewed up around his mouth. That's actually how I'm seeing it. They're going to stitch his mouth shut. Why? I ask why. This is how it works for me. So when something hits me, I get impressions and I just express those impressions. I could be right, I could be wrong, obviously. Nobody's 100% right. It's always worked this way for me. So when I ask him energetically, meaning in my head, however you want to word that, when I ask her why his mouth is being sewn up, it's because of his mentors and they don't want it coming out over here, even though some of them are outing themselves. These are old guys connected to old time, old style Motown. And she's showing me that he's being shut up from outing them or from speaking about them for some reason. So there's a hierarchy going on here and there's a total takedown of him. He is being sacrificed. So he may think he gets away with stuff. He may think it's cool he does what he does, but now he's the sacrificial lamb. And I do mean that. There's something that comes up with him in March, speaking of the lamb, during the Easter time frame. March, April, right in that time frame. That's why I said lamb.
Boom. That is the part that I wanted you guys to hear. This is what I heard back around January. And when I watched this video, and fast forward to now, last week I literally was talking to somebody at work about this. And I was like, yo, I remember this lady said this on a video on Facebook back in January. And I literally like looked at the calendar and I was like, yo, it's like March 30th right now. And here we are, March, April. Like she was spot on with the time frame. So it's either one of two things. Either this lady knew this was coming around this time frame, or this lady really did dive into, that energy that she speaks of and seen this coming. And I mean this of course it leads to, other things or whatnot. As well as, how she talked about it was somebody that was a mentor to Diddy that groomed him. So, he basically learned, well, I ain't gonna say he learned this, from somebody else, but she's saying that this happened to Diddy and Diddy went on to do it. And there's somebody else, behind closed doors that don't want to be outed that is basically sacrificing him now. And man, this is wild, right? This is wild because there's so much that ties into this. Today's music, how basically, with music you can influence, a whole generation of kids, people, whatever, just by music. And this is like the backgrounds of it, the back scenes of it, so that's a whole nother conversation though. But um now let's get to the part two, what I think is gonna happen. Excuse me. So with Diddy, in the situation that he's in now, I think there will be more, people of the music industry that come forward and say, hey, this happened to me, that happened to me. And I don't think they're gonna come willingly. I think it's gonna be evidence or something that comes out, a video or something that comes out, and they basically gonna use that as an opportunity to basically save face in a sense. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel it's gonna be like a sympathy type deal. Because how can I put it? Like I don't wanna be, fucked up in my saying or whatnot, but what I'm saying, so let's take Meek Mill for example, right? Right now a lot of people are talking about Meek Mill because Meek Mill got like a song to where he said, I hope, he basically said something like, I hope Philly forgive me for the shit that I did with Diddy. And people are taking, that line and basically tying it, with Diddy on a sexual thing or whatnot, right? And they like, like, what do you mean by that? And with that said, like at the end of the day, if you really, pay attention to Meek, Meek is basically like, he's also said things like, man, y'all tweaking if y'all think, this went down or that went down, right? And I'm not saying by no means that he gonna be the person that gonna come forward and say, hey, this happened to me or not like that. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, I feel that it will be some people in the music industry that may show up on some form of, you know, documentation, whether it's video, whether it's pictures or whatnot. And it's going to get to a point to where it may go public, to where people are identified. And that's going to trigger a chain reaction of people coming out saying, hey, I went to this party, this happened, I don't remember it, this, that, that. And that's going to be their way of acknowledging, what happened, as well as saving their face. And I think, when it happens, man, it's gonna almost be like the Harvey Weinstein, or however you say his name, him, and the whole Bill Cosby situation. People um, accused, more people came, and it just continued. It just continued from that point. So I think that's literally what's gonna happen. And I think at the end of the day, whether or not did he go to court, that I don't know. Maybe, we'll see. But at the same time, this lady, like I say, she was spot on what she said months ago, and everything she said has literally like been coming to light. And she, here she spoke about the whole trafficking, etc. She spoke about the time frame, and it literally hit, you know, right on the head. Just like when they raided his house, what they say, trafficking. So I'm waiting just like everybody else. I want to know what y'all think. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please comment, because I'm looking forward to the interactions and the thoughts of you guys. To see where we meet on this topic or whatnot. Because this is wild. This is wild. I was mind blown when I seen this, and then come March, April, boom. It's like I think I actually got a text message from somebody that was like, "Yo, Diddy houses just got raided or something." And I was like, "Yo, what?" Like, so this is wild. But please comment, man. Let me know what y'all think, cause I'm curious. I'm curious. But yeah, this is pretty much this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all found this to be mind blowing as I did. And that's it. Peace.